Three Hebrew brothers thrown in the fiery furnace. This was a faith-building story. They allowed faith to mark them. There were three Hebrew young men by the name of Mishael, Hananiah, and Azariah. They were renamed by the chief of the staff. Hananiah was called Shadrach, Mishael was called Meshach, and Azariah was called Abednego, which were Babylonian names. Daniel was another chosen and appointed man in this story. In this story, God kept showing up for Daniel and the brothers Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. The hand of God and favor rested upon their lives. The king demanded that Daniel eat of the meats and food he commanded. Daniel was determined not to defile himself eating unclean things. The chief attendant was to look after Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. For 10 days eating clean vegetables and water. God showed up after the 10 days. Daniel and the three brothers looked more healthier and more nourished than the others who ate the king's food. God gave the four men young men an unusual aptitude for understanding every aspect and wisdom. Daniel was also gifted by God to interpret the meanings of visions and dreams. The king Nebuchadnezzar talked with them, and no one impressed him as much as Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. The king had a dream, and Daniel interpreted the dream. It foretells the unfolding of the future and final world empire. It also revealed the destruction of the world empires by the coming kingdom of God. He received gifts and became ruler over the province of Babylon. Not even the soothsayers and psychics can interpret like Daniel. The king Nebuchadnezzar began to create this false image, which is idol worship and idolatry. He demanded that everyone, including counselors, sheriffs and mullahs of province, to worship the dedication of the image. It was told whenever they heard a flute, harp or sackbut, etc., to fall down and worship. He said, "Who shall not bow and worship will be thrown into the fiery furnace." The Hebrew brothers were accused that they did the opposite. They refused to worship Nebuchadnezzar and his false graven image. The Hebrew brothers had strong faith in God. They knew God will save them from such a fate as burning to death in a fiery furnace. In fury, the king commanded them into the fire, and they were bound together. Later, Nebuchadnezzar was amazed to see three Hebrew boys to still be alive. Unharmed, they walked through the fire. Puzzling, there was a fourth figure standing beside them. God revealed himself and his power, that he is the only true and living God. He acknowledges to the three brothers, "You are servants of the Most High God." Nebuchadnezzar ordered they are to serve no other false god, nothing but their very own Creator. He then promoted them all to higher office over Babylon. It was an unbearable situation, but God blessed them anointed men for enduring to the end.